I'm here at the comic book store, and I just couldn't help but notice saw this on the shelf. Domino. I don't even know, it's some trade paperback, Soldier of Fortune. It's got to be the only volume because they don't last long enough to have multiple volumes. $16, right? Look how thin this is. Like, for a comic book, that's pretty thick, right? Pretty thick. IDW is doing this massive compilation, 100-page giant. It's thicker. I can't. Look at this. It's hard to see on the glass. It's the Max. It's thicker than the Domino. $15.99, $4.99. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Ash on Comics. I'm your host, Ash, and this is the In and Out Weekly Comics pull list that I do every week on Wednesdays. I call it In and Out because I'm about to unbox my In and Out burger that I get for lunch after I go to the comic book store, and I thought it was a cool name because the goal of this is to get in and out. Like, watch the video, see what I got, get out, go on with your day. Not to beleaguer the point that I tend to just ramble on about things too long, and it's incentive to get me to eat the burger and blah, 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 blah. It's number 11. Look at my big hand just whoom, right in the way. Let's do it Ethan style. Number 11, In and Out Weekly Comics Pull is 3/13/19. That's today's date. And another tradition I've established, I've been doing this year, because last year, man, Marvel just went unhinged, and they are like, hold my beer, we're going to do it again, double down. That's what Marvel does. New number ones. Every single week, Marvel releases a ton of number ones. It used to be you got about this many per year from Marvel back in the day when I was a big collector and a youngster. Now this is a weekly occurrence. Marvel is killing the industry with their number ones. I do this sort of as a to make fun of them, really. I hate that they do this. They're killing the industry. Ever since Marvel got Conan rights back, they have just been milking this cow until the udders are bleeding. Age of Conan now has another Conan has another number one. I think this is, 4 books now? Or I can't even keep track of them. Age of Conan, and I can't even pronounce this word. Belit, I don't know. Why would you do this, Marvel? Why? Is this... what? Readers, Eric Breen, if you're watching, you're my fountain of knowledge. Anyone else, also, please tell me how to pronounce this word and what this word is. I'm sure I could Google it. I don't know. But it's got this little caret on above the E. It looks like a French word, probably. Why would this go with Conan? Whatever. Age of X-Men. Because, what is this? The 7th week in a row? I've lost track. I've literally lost track. Every week there is a new Age of X-Men number one. Every week. And I've hammered down how they're gimmicking you by, instead of just having Age of X-Men number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, they're making these subtitles and just calling it number 1 over and over and over. But I was wrong. It's worse than that. Each of these are a mini-series. Holy shitbags. This is like the 7th or 8th week in a row that you've had an Age of X-Men number 1. And I've started to see number 2s also this week for the previous ones. So we thought, I'm going to get down to the spoiler alerts down here. I'm going to hold this thought. Star Wars, Age of Republic. Because it's working for Age of X-Men, let's do Age of Republic. Or I think it's vice versa. I think they started doing this one first, where it's all the time, every week is a new Star Wars number 1, Age of Republic. And I'm pretty positive these are just number 1s, which made me assume that about here. Then, you've been waiting for this. The Magnificent Miss Marvel, number 1. It's been so long that we've been without Miss Marvel. We've been waiting for her. She finally has her own book. Oh, wait. Last month she had her own book, and they just restarted the numbering? Oh, yeah, that's what Marvel does. Just restart the numbering because we can't sell shit. And so if it put a number 1 on it, change the name a little bit, give her the magnificent. Oh, she's so magnificent. Look at her go. And look at this. A new Uncanny X-Men Winter's End number 1. We thought, or you may have thought, I sure thought, that Marvel was exploiting the shit out of X-Men before the mass cancellation of the red, white, blue, green, rainbow X-Men that is like every color under the sun. No, there was just 5 colors of X-Men. Wait. Yeah, right? 5, 4? Like you can't even keep track of how many. Blue, yellow, red, black. So 4. Or maybe I'm missing one. Who knows? They had to cancel those because they couldn't sell for shit. All of them were 30,000 units, like barely pushing 30,000 units and dropping. So rather than suffer the embarrassment, they canceled it and then said, oh, we're bringing back Uncanny X-Men, what fans have been wanting. Well, you should have never canceled this book. It's the greatest selling comic book in history. It's the most popular comic book that there ever was. And you shit on it so bad that now it is a stinker that no one wants to buy. But you decided to cancel all these other X-Men because you exploited the shit out of it, and no one wants to buy X-Men anymore. So you're just like, oh, we're going to bring back the original, the one that you loved. Why does it need to be brought back? Why don't you just admit, hey, we fucked up. We're Marvel, we fucked up. We should have never canceled Uncanny X-Men. We're sorry. We're bringing back what you love. They didn't do that. They hyped it up to be like, oh yeah, look at what we're going to do. No, you're the one that got rid of it. You're the ones that trashed it. And now look at you're exploiting it with another Uncanny X-Men, another number 1. This is the 3rd Uncanny X-Men number 1 within a matter of like a month or 2. It's so stupid. So back to what I was saying over here. If you have 7 or 8 Age of X-Men, I don't even know if this is going to end. Next week there may be a new Age of X-Men number 1. But let's say there's 7 right now for the sake of argument. 2 Uncanny X-Men's. 7 Age of X-Mans, which is all these are all X-Men books. Like, you are stressing your fan base out ridiculously. You're worse than before. You're worse. You're twice as bad. You made it sound like, oh, look, we're going to bring back the Uncanny X-Men. We're going to cancel these 4 titles. We're going to just make 1 title. Bullshit. Your issue number 11 of Uncanny X-Men was $8. Why do people support this shit? Stop. Stop buying Marvel. Stop it. They don't like you. They don't respect you. They don't respect their own properties. Why do you give them ungodly amounts of money for trash? I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyways, I've ranted long enough about this. My final thing is about another Marvel. I was at the store today. I saw War of the Realms. Oh, I was like, I didn't know this came out today. I thought this was like, I don't know, this is Prelude. Oh, what are you doing, Marvel? And then I saw $35. What? 35. This is soft cover. Now I'm at Comixology right now. So I decided, I got home and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this on my thing. But on Comixology, it's $16.99. Half the price. Close enough. Featuring 12 different books dating back to Thor 344. If you need to read these to understand what War of the Realms... Look, I mean, I appreciate that they're like, here's some reference material. This should be done in the book itself. When you read War of the Realms, you should go, and this happened. See this issue. If you're publishing this, though, oh my God. Oh my God. War of the Realms, someone did a calculation of all the issue copies. If you wanted to get all in, if you just like, I'm all in, baby, I'm all War of the Realms, get every issue, every copy of the issue, $1,000. Walk away from Marvel. Please stop funding this. Marvel's never gonna go away. Like, if you're afraid, like, I don't want Marvel. They may disappear for a short time. They need to go bankrupt. People need to get fired, and they need to go back to being the old school Marvel that they used to be, that we all know and love. So we can have good stuff again, and we can stop being ripped off, and we can just enjoy it. But all right, let's get on with the thing. First things first, for the price of one comic book, or the price of 3 alternate comic books, I get my weekly In-N-Out double. Look at that. What places do you go where when you open your burger, it looks like the picture? It tastes even better. But that's not what you came to see. Or maybe for some of you it is what you came to see. You want to see my comics. All right, first, I got to give a shout out to my boy, Sergeant Bats. He did a pull list video, which I already watched. And I'm going to roast him a little bit here. Just his comics wouldn't fit in his box. As you can see, I have my box. I do. His comics wouldn't fit in my box. Mine barely fit. They have to squeeze. So he did this thing where he took all of his comics out of the bag so they would fit in his box. And Bats, what are you doing, man? Here's what you do. Just take the box, put it out of the way. You don't need it. You can just show your comics without a box. Look at that. All right, first book of the week. Came out on a Wednesday. Alterna, $1.99. Are you out of your mind? This is a double size issue usually. I don't know how many pages it is. It's like 36 to 48 pages. Really, dogs? Every single time. Every time. It's like, oh, hey, I hear something. Jeez. 36 to 48 pages usually. It's a pretty thick book. It's bigger. That's why it's not $1.50. But only $1.99. Now, Alterna books all come out at the same time because it's a really, really small press. So they all come out at the same time. That's one weird thing about it. You don't just get like one this week, one that week, whatever. So you kind of have to get a bulk. I got 5 Alterna books this week. They all came out. And then it's like, because they're bi-monthly, you wait 2 months and then you get a stack. And then, but that's another reason to collect them. $1.50 every 2 months, 75 cents a month. Pick one Alterna comic. I assure you, you can find one comic that you like for 75 cents a month. Support. Alterna Comics is what we want in comics, right? You may look at them and go, well, it's not DC or Marvel or even Image. Like, okay, I'm not saying that this is top quality, right? But it is top quality, bang for your buck. This will surprise you. You believe me, I was prejudiced against these two, and Zach, like over a year ago, did reviews on. He was like, oh, he just kind of gave them a half middling 3 out of 5 star type thing. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. And then I picked some up myself and read them. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. This is Scrimshaw. This is one of the books that Zach reviewed actually, and kind of gave it the middling review. And you can see, like, in this particular book, the art it's amateurish, right? But it's good enough to be an indie book, right? This is indie quality art. These are guys who are kind of like the minor leagues. They're not quite good enough to be called up and play in the majors, but they are good enough to play in the minors, and they're still in training, and they're putting out stuff, and maybe one day these guys will be rock stars and you'll get some early work. Everyone's got to start somewhere, and I'm telling you, I shouldn't even have to make excuses. Eden number 4, finally, so I can now, I kind of binge these because they're all miniseries. I read the first issue, enjoyed it, then I stopped, so now I'm going to finish it up. Also, speaking of being able to finish off, Exilium, read the first issue, enjoyed it, and you will be amazed at this book as far as like the quality. The art is better than most Marvel books. Yeah, it's for $1.50. Jeez. Now we get into the expensive books. Bloodshot. Rising Spirit. Now, this one actually didn't come out this week, so I don't really count on my pull list. It's been sitting in my pull list for a couple weeks because Diamond shipped a bunch of damaged books. And as you can see, I get the pre-order special edition. My shop pulls for me, and that was the one that was ripped. So they just held it, and I picked it up today. It finally came in. I was like, thank you guys for finding this, because these are rare. Oblivion Song. I gotta say something about this book. I keep meaning to do a video on this. I don't review these books because Oblivion Song is like a manga. And what I mean by that is one of the major differences between Western comics and manga is that Western comics tend to be like, oh, you can just sort of pick it up anywhere. You just grab a book, you can start reading Batman, right? Modern Western comics, we do the whole written for the trade thing. And what that means is like every 5 or 6 issues is like an arc that they box up in a trade. So it's a little bit harder than it used to be. But you can still relatively, if you start picking up Batman, you might be in the middle of an arc, kind of figure out what's going on, and then within a couple of issues, you're starting on a new arc and you're good to go. Manga, on the other hand, by and large, there's always exceptions to the rule, is an ongoing story. It's this long saga, right? It's like Game of Thrones in the sense that you don't just start Game of Thrones at season 3. You need to follow it the whole way through. It's one big long story. Mangas like that. Most of these new indie books, like Image books, are like that. Oblivion Song is one of those. Like, you don't just, this is issue 13, you don't just jump in at issue 13 and be like, hey, what's going on? So now that I've wasted your time, most of you probably already know this, the reason I want to point this book out is because Skybound, the imprint, where's their Skybound logo? Skybound, where are you? Oh, there it is. Usually they have it down here. Skybound, which is Robert Kirkman's imprint. Robert Kirkman is the only founder or partner that they've made since the original founders. These guys are Walking Dead. I'm sure if you don't know, one of the biggest selling indie guys like ever. Oblivion Song is one of his books. I love what Skybound is doing. Like, I feel like Robert Kirkman is eventually Skybound's going to break away. I think they're going to be bigger than Image because they just have smarts on how to do publishing. As far as when I say smarts, I mean they're user friendly. They really try to do things and make it enjoyable for the users, not just as a reading experience, which Oblivion Song is great, but from a publishing experience. So it's hard to jump in on issue 13, right? So what are you going to do? Well, simultaneously with issue 13 coming out today, they released volume 2 of the trade. Same day. Volume 2 of the trade catches you up issues 7 through 12. Volume 1's been out for a while, and you can get them on Comixology dirt cheap sometimes. I've seen them on sale for like $2 something if you want to wait for a sale. If not, I think it's like $6. So it's super cheap. You get that, you're like, jump in, I don't know what to do. You could jump in today, pick up volume 1, volume 2 just came out, and boom, you've got issue 13. It's not like volume 2 comes out 6 months after this book is out, and there's no lag, so they're making it real friendly. A lot of books don't work that way. Anyways, I beleaguered that point. Prodigy, Mark Millar. I'm invested, I guess. It's too late to pull out. I'm enjoying this book. I'm doing reviews on it, so I'm not going to speak more on it. It's got its issues, but it's worth buying still, so I'm doing it. Now we're on the mainstream books. DC, I don't buy any Marvels, as you're probably already aware. This is Tim Sale. Look at this bizarro artwork. What the hell? I didn't recognize it at first. What the hell is that face? What the hell is that? And I didn't know it was Tim Sale. I was like, what the? I was at the counter. I was like, what the hell crap art is this? I look at my pull list. Like, oh yeah, Tim Sale. And I was like, what? It's Tim Sale? Holy shit. Anyways. The composition. I love the composition. Like, if you held this really far away, it might look good. But then you look up, like, ugh. Anyways. More full art. Red Hood Outlaw. I haven't read any of the Outlaw stuff. I don't even know why I'm buying it. Oh, I know why I'm buying it, because I liked 1 through 25 when it was the Outlaws. When DC sold me on a concept, and I tried it out, and I liked it. And then they said, hey, that thing you liked, we're going to get rid of it. Oh yeah, that costume you liked, we're going to get rid of it. We're going to make him all edgelord. And I was going to nope out, and then issue 26 came out, and they had those fantastic alt covers, and I was like, oh, all right, I should at least try it before I nope out. And then the next issue came out and had a dope cover, and I bought that, but I just haven't been excited, so I just haven't read them, so I don't even know if they're good. But now that I'm invested, I'm buying them. I just can't stop buying them. I'm stupid. Justice League Dark number 9. These covers are starting to look all the samey to me. I think it's because of Swamp Thing. I feel like it's always like Swamp Thing and then people around him. Every single cover. Speaking of covers, look at this dope cover. The stack is too thick. Look at this dope cover. Man. So if you want a Batman with guns, one of the cool things with this whole metal is now you can have a Batman with guns, and he's not actually your Batman, so you can have the Batman everyone loves. Plus, you can have this alternate version of Batman with guns. It's a win-win situation. But what's not a win-win situation is this bullshit. Batman Who Laughs, Grim Knight number 1. I make fun of Marvel at the beginning of every video on this. Why do we need something, 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 subtitle number 1? Why is this not Batman Who Laughs number 4? Or why just get rid of this Batman Who Laughs and have Grim Knight stand on its own? Well, everyone knows Batman Who Laughs is the popular character everyone loves, so we got to sell it on this. We can't just sell Grim Knight. So $5, so we can have a new number 1. Speaking of ripping you off, I don't know why I'm buying. Rob Liefeld, they did another Rob Liefeld cover. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So, finally, though, end on a bang. Hawkman number 10. This is the best mainstream comic in the business. Soon to be the best comic in the business, because EXO, sadly, is coming to a close. This is good. If you like mainstream comics, especially if you like DC comics, you know, I can understand if you're just a Marvel fanboy and you don't understand the quality of DC and you're lost. I can understand you're not interested. 'Cause I used to be one of those too. But if you're a DC fan and you're not picking up this book, something is wrong with you. This is the best DC book out there. That's it. Get to know this name, Robert Venditti. He's the new Jeff Johns. He does everything magical. I can't wait to see what they're going to put him on next, because they keep canceling his books. I hope Hawkman is not one of those, because it has low sales because of this character that, for whatever reason, just can never be popular. Well, I know why. He looks hokey and dumb. And I know Hawkman fans are like, F you, Ash. But yes, once you become a fan, you overlook the hokey and dumbness, and he looks cool. It's a weird thing. I'm telling you. I get now that I like the character, I look at him and go, oh yeah, like, he looks cool. But before I liked the character and I didn't know squat, I go, that looks dumb. It's the weirdest thing. So I've been on both sides of the coin now, so I can relate to both sides. But as a publisher, DC needs to understand this. As a prejudiced person who doesn't like Hawkman, get this. Get it. Get the first trade, actually. This is not something jumping in. This is not a good jumping in point. This whole series has been an origin. Issues 1 through 7. It's fantastic. This is something they should make a movie off of. If they make a movie, which of course are gonna, this is the material that they should be basing it off of, hopefully. That is it. It's been a long video. It was not in and out. I apologize. But it was a big week. Over $40 for me, which is huge. Not like my boy Bats, who just, likes to burn money. He bought Wonder Twins. Can you believe he bought one? Bats. All right, thanks guys for watching. Like, subscribe if there's any value. I have a Patreon account. Please consider throwing $1 or so my way. Maybe if I got that, I could afford to buy things like Wonder Twins and roast them. Whatever. I can do more things. If you got any suggestions for the show, what do you think I should cover? Do more, do different, stop doing, whatever. Yes, and if you comment about the time, I'm sitting here pointing the time on my camera like it's going to be... I know the time. You don't have to comment that this video is too long. I already know. I apologize. I try to keep them short, 10 to 15 minutes. But this one got away from me. So, what do you think is going to be the best? I'm not going to put those back up there. It's too big of a stack. It's going to be... it's going to be Hawkman. I mean, come on. Let's go. All right. Thanks for watching.